Okay, so we just got done with the meeting, and so what did you think? What was the format like?
So while I find that splitting us out into separate groups disagreeable, I think we had a particularly good group because the moderators, I think we were lucky compared to the groups I overheard. The moderators were nice and considerate and noted down everything that we said, despite the fact that they were like, you know, perhaps not super interested. But it is what it is, I guess.
And so in your group, how was it split out? Like split oak people versus non-split oak people?
Yeah, so we had mostly split oak people, and then we had one concerned citizen. The concerned citizen afterward came up to us and said, "Hey, I read in the paper that there was this proposed land that we were going to do for the land swap, and I didn't understand why we wouldn't want to swap it. That number is bigger than this number. But after listening to everyone speak, I can understand that split oak is very precious, and this land is not, and is like polluted and everything else, and how it's important that we protect split oak." So that was great that even citizens who knew nothing coming into it like understood what was happening afterwards.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I was really impressed with the people who were part of our group, both with the Split Oak coalitions and the concerned citizens who showed up. There were several people in our group that had not talked to other Split Oak members or done Split Oak events in the past, but they heard about us in the newspaper or they saw something online. And what ended up happening was that their points were so beautiful, and we got to provide facts and documentation to support what those citizens were saying, and that was really powerful. We had my concern about the breakout groups. They weren't quite able to say where the information was going to go and how it was going to be compiled, and that seems strange to not be able to answer that question 2 weeks out from the May 1st FWC meeting. And it was amazing to hear what people brought up and what their points were, and I'm thankful that I got to hear how organized and educated people are about Split Oak Forest, because it's that important.
I thought that the breakout groups were, oh, sorry. I thought that the breakout groups were good for the fact that it allowed me to speak on various topics in a non-pressurized way. In previous times speaking out on this topic, it's been nerve-wracking and unusual for me to be in that position, but in this way of having conversation and being able to have like open dialogue and discussion with the other people in that group, including the moderators and the employees of the FWC, was really useful for me to bring up topics like the studying and surveying of Asclepias fei, which is something that, kind of always leaves my mind when I'm up there. But yeah, I second the concerns about who's compiling this information and how it's going to be summarized, and if everyone is going to be heard through this method.
My group had just 6 people in it. 4 were regular people that attend the Friends of Split Oak activities, and 2 are people who learned about this through social media, Instagram and Facebook, and were there, but they were supportive and informed about the issues. My concern was that our moderators for our group were not well versed in all the issues, and that we as a group felt like we were just back to square one and starting all over again with the same concerns about the this proposed land swap, just all the concerns with the road that have been raised over the years. Now our moderators were very good in taking notes, and they assured us that it would be shared with the board or with somebody. That too was kind of vague, but they said, well, they're in the process of negotiating right now. And I asked, well, who is negotiating? Because we aren't at the table, and Orange County isn't at the table. So exactly who is negotiating? And they weren't able to answer that question. But as the others have expressed, I too don't see how they could take what was said today and communicate it and incorporate it into any kind of planning. It just felt like it was lip service, but we spoke out. So yay, we spoke out. We were here.
Yeah, we did.
We were here.
Sure, why not?
Katrina?
So I am encouraged that in our group, even of the people that weren't with Split Oak Coalition, that it seemed to be a united front in terms of message, that even the people who were not there from Friends of Split Oak or Split Oak Coalition were concerned about conservation in Florida, concerned about the state of conservation in Florida, that even just the local residents that showed up from Osceola County wanted to know more about this donation land, asked questions about the map, and got to hear all of our points. I just really hope that all of these details make its way to the commissioners and ultimately the people who are making the decisions on our behalf. And I think the most important point that we got across was just that not all land is created equal, and also that we would set a really dangerous legal precedent